Wednesday night Forza Motorsport Spec Racing here live on Twitch TV. Let's get it going. AMS Storm now here on lap number 34 of 34, jumps into the top spot. And here comes Maverick now, going to make a run to the inside. Drex perhaps missing his mark. Hello, race fans all over the world. Welcome to X-Venture Live on Twitch TV. I'm Dustin Moore, coming at you at a beautiful, a stunning 6,000 kilobytes per second here on Twitch TV. Great to have you. Hopefully your week is going well so far. Rolling into Wednesday. Things are good here on my side. A little snowy today, a little wintry here in central Colorado. For those of you who maybe are in warmer climates, hopefully you're enjoying the warm weather here in late January, getting ready to roll into another month. Believe it or not, February just right around the corner. It is week number 3 here in the Forza Spec Racing Series, season number 44, and that means that after our first race of the evening, we'll be halfway through season 44. Yes, halfway through, just that easily. After 5 races, we will be on our way toward the championship bout or the finale of the season. I don't know how much of a bout it'll be. We'll take a look at the standings here in just a second. But we've got our drivers who are loading up into the lobby. A couple of great races for you here this evening, and that's where we'll start here on the board. Is we'll take a look at our schedule of what is to come here this evening. 2 races on the books. Ready to go into the books, I should say. The 2 races on the schedule. They'll go into the history books as we mosey on along through the evening. 1 and 2, weeks 1 and 2, already in our rear view mirror. Week number 3 brings us to Mugello in Italy. The Mugello Club Circuit, 28 laps. I've been hyping it up here since week number 1, saying that this could be the most exciting week of the season. This is a shorter track, perhaps one of the shorter tracks on the schedule here in season 44. And it's one that I really enjoy because you got a lot of S's, a lot of chicanes. You go uphill on the front half of the track. You go downhill on the back half of the track. And the little C500 Mazda RX-3, we're going to see how well it performs. And, of course, all of our drivers who are joining us here this evening, how they perform out on the track with the 233 horsepower. So not a lot of horsepower, hence the reason we are going to the club circuit, the shorter circuit. But that doesn't mean that it's going to be any less exciting. I expect this one to be a door banger for sure. Week number 3 concludes with the Suzuka Full Circuit, care of LS Barney. Does this almost every season that he gets the chance. A full circuit run around Suzuka in the rain. It'll start off with heavy rain there, 100%, no questions. 100% heavy rain at the onset. Then about 2/3 of the way through the race, or hitting the 2/3 mark, it will be 100% fog. So we'll get rid of the rain and we'll go into foggy conditions, and then a 40% chance there in the last third of the race for there to be a little bit more fog, but less foggy than the midpoint of the race. So we'll see how that pans out there at Suzuka. And then what we have a week from tonight, same time, same channel, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on X-Venture. Road Atlanta, the club circuit, 27 laps around that one. Road Atlanta is always fun. Road Atlanta is a heck of a track. That's a good one as well. Maybe not as, I don't know. It might match up pretty well against Mugello. we'll just have to see how it plays out here in the RX3, and then concluding week number 4 in the Le Mans Bugatti circuit. At the Le Mans Bugatti circuit, 15 laps there in the nighttime, in the dark. And then we'll wrap up season 44. And if anybody has a shot at stripping the championship away from our points leader, they're going to have to do it there. They're going to have to make it happen. I mean, week 5 has to be a part of that equation. The Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit for 39 laps. Yes, it is just one single race there in week number 5. 39 laps at the Nürburgring GP. And because Turn 10 Studios inexplicably, I'm not even saying that correctly. I don't know why that one's not rolling off the tongue. Took away some of the short tracks there at the Nürburgring GP. It's going to be the full circuit. All, I don't know, 2.5, 3 miles of it, I think. 39 laps around that one. That's going to be a fun race 2 weeks from tonight, right here on Xventure. And as it says, all races are broadcast here starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. Green to checker. You get it all right here on the channel. All right. There are the standings here coming out of week number 2. Now, this takes into account, I know a lot of folks will jump in here and go, Dustin, these points, they don't make any sense. There should be more points to some of the drivers' names. Yes, overall points, but championship points means they take their lowest performing week in terms of total points, and they subtract that from the equation. And being that we've only raced 2 weeks worth of races, that means really we only have 1 week's worth of points on the schedule, or not on the schedule, but on the leaderboard here. That'll change next week as we roll into week number 4, and then obviously as we go into week 5. Dropping that worst week of your five weeks worth of points, and then whoever has the most is the champion. Right now, lined up for that is LS Subaru. Now, LS Subaru has a guaranteed 200 points here in season 44, at the very least. Guaranteed 200 points. That's because it was another back-to-back first place finish in week number 2 for Subaru. And so if this week or next week or week number 5 happens to be a poor performing week for Subaru, we know that week 2 points will come back onto the tally here. Cratrim with 94, Darkser at 87, Ubernuts at 86, and you can see there, Ubernuts joining us for the first time here in season 44 in week number 2, and came away with 2 fourth-place finishes. And sure enough, that means that in terms of where our standings are right now, that nets a 4th place overall position there for Ubernuts, 86 points. LS Barney and Audrex share a total of 81. Witchy Lady, who we did not see in week number 2. Not sure if we're going to see her in week number 3. I don't see the Witchy Lady in the lobby here at this point. She and FCA Lemon sharing 75. Onion with Too Many Eyes at 68. Kuda 93 with 64. Then you see Slow Motion Fire, Fear the Fun, Patches Riley, Modern Weapon, Nikki Bobby, Virus Dots, Aaron's, Optic Shadow, Born as Ghost, and Sprzaus rounding out the top 20. And as a matter of fact, those are the 20 drivers who have participated here in season 44 so far. We'll see if we have any new attendees, new participants. And sure enough, I see CMD Slipstream, who's not new at all to the Forza Spec Racing Series, but just so happens to be the first appearance here in season 44. So good to see Slipstream back out there on the track as I pour through the lobby so far, and right now not a lot of drivers logged in at the moment. We're a couple of minutes off the top of the hour from our qualifying session. When that begins, hopefully we'll get a few more drivers in here. Looking at the chat here, we've got Slow Motion Fire saying good evening. Virus Thoughts telling us unfortunately had some sad family news, which Virus Thoughts like I had posted there in the chat. So sorry to hear that. And obviously, real world, real life, family matters, all that comes first. So take your time, take care of the ones you love, and we'll see you whenever you do have the opportunity to join back in. SDR Onion with too many eyes is there in the chat, says, hello, Dustin. How are you? I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing good. Glad to be here. I've got my palm trees on today. Now, I don't know why we don't really have a palm tree type of tour here on the schedule. We're going to Italy and then to I don't know, I guess maybe Japan. You got some palm trees there in Japan, so perhaps that works for Suzuka. But I don't know. I might have to get a P.O. box, and in that way you guys can send me some oddball shirts that I can wear in this getup that I do, this kind of shtick that I have here with the coat and the T-shirt underneath. That would be fun, yeah? Darkser in the chat says, howdy, Dustin. Hello there, Darkser. Darkser is in the lobby. Darkser participating in the 24 Hours of Daytona put on by the Online Racing Association this past weekend. And unfortunately, Darkser, I believe, had a disconnect that really put a damper on his team's performance. But certainly not going to let that stop him in future participating in future races there. And the Sebring event, I think, coming up in March, if I am not mistaken. Racetora.com if you want details. Yes, my car finished dead last. Comedy of technical issues. Sebring is in March, says Darkser. As a matter of fact, Sebring, I think, I have to think about it. I think Sebring, the 12 Hours of Sebring, was the last Tora event that I commentated 2 years ago. 2 years ago. That was a lot of fun. Somebody put together a cool highlight reel. It had me. It had I'm trying to think of some of the other commentators that were in there. I know I'm dropping names here. I'm trying to do this off the cuff, but there was a cool highlight reel that somebody had put together of the 12 Hours of Sebring that when I saw that I was like, oh, that's neat. That's neat. It's nice. It's nice to be a part of something like that. That the events that Tora puts on, because they're so well put together and they're known far and wide in the Forza community. So to have some sort of involvement in that is awesome. But then to have somebody kind of go back and pluck out like the cool moments of the race across all the lobbies, nonetheless. So they weren't just doing it for the lobby that I was spectating, but all the other lobbies. Is really awesome stuff. It was 2 years back. You did the 12-hour stream. Then, oh gosh, Sholesi. I think that's the right pronunciation. Put the highlights together for the Forza Monthly. That's what it was. That's what it was. As a matter of fact, I happened to be watching that stream, and I had no clue that video was being put together, and that's where I saw it. Very cool stuff. All right, Slow Motion Fire, Skolzy. That's what it is. Skolzy. I know. The Sholesi is the one that I went with originally, and then everybody told me that Scholzy is the correct way to pronounce that. All right, here we go. So Motion Fire telling us there in the chat that we are ready for qualifying, so I'll go ahead and pull my mug off the screen. We'll get the lobby displayed here, and Patches Riley is going to be the first one off the line here for qualifying. 3 laps of qualifying to try to set your best lap time. Best lap times go to the front of the grid. The slower lap times go to the back portion of the grid. And for those of you who have wagered some of your channel points, let's see, we've got 3 of you who said that there will be 0 to 2 people with dirty laps, and 4 of you ventured to guess that 3 or more folks would have dirty laps by the time qualifying is all said and done. Stats there in the bottom left for you, just below the track map. Will allow us to track who's got the quickest time out on the track. The Mugello Club Circuit. I love this track. I really do. I love the full. I love the club. Although I can't say I like this part right here, where you go through the infield, wrap back around toward the start-finish line. This right-hander always gets me. Always bites me. I find myself into that wall more times than I'd like to admit. Across the line they come. Cratrum with a 110 double-aught-6. Double-aught-6. LS Subaru now able to get a sub 109. Clocks in at 108.819 on the standing start lap. Now, perhaps Subaru might have been a little bit further back in the grid when they took off from the standing start, so might have been able to eke out a few more miles per hour before the timer started. But let's see here on lap number 2. The first flying lap for everybody, how they do. Kuda 93 right now with the second best qualifying time. Let's go ahead to the Wonka. I was about to say the Wonka bar car. I don't know if it's necessarily a Wonka bar, but really just Wonka. Beautiful livery. I don't know if Kuda did that himself or if somebody helped put that together, but a brilliant design. Coming back down the downhill section, that sweeping right-hander. You've got no camber in that corner to work with. It just flings you out onto the front straightaway. LS Subaru now with a 105.511. Not only is Subaru trying to be only the second driver to go back-to-back-to-back in the Forza Spec Racing Series with championships, but is trying to be the first driver to sweep an entire season, to be first place in all 9 races. We'll see if Subaru is able to pull it off. Audrex now coming back around to the line. Let's go to Subaru here, who is winding down the third lap. You see Darkser with a couple of wheels off into the grass. That's me. That's me every time. I can never time the corner correctly. Never can get my braking right. And Subaru now across the line is going to go ahead and hold on to that 105.511. Cratrim with the second quickest qualifying time at this point. Onion with too many eyes in third. Audrex with the fourth. LS Barney in fifth. And SFM Darkser says, cue up the last to first challenge, the 0 to hero. Darkser apparently with I can't imagine Darkser has a slow qualifying time. They're just dirty. And of course, the fastest dirty lap will always be slower than the quickest clean lap. That's just how it works in terms of grid ordering. If your lap is dirty, that's Forza Motorsport. Oh, and I don't know if maybe my game is locked up or what. We'll go ahead and click out of that. I might have to rejoin the lobby here in just a second. Not sure what's going on. It seems to be stuck. Very stuck. Hopefully everybody else was able to qualify. I don't know if somebody's able to chime in the chat to let me know. But hopefully this wasn't a hard freeze for everybody. We'll go ahead and we'll get that loaded back up here, and we'll try to see the finishing times for everybody to get a sense of where everyone finished, and of course to pay out our prediction. Channel points here on Twitch have no monetary value whatsoever, so yes, while it is a little bit of betting, it's all in good spirits, it's all for fun, and you really have nothing to lose. Channel points are just something that you earn as you watch the channel. The longer you're here, the more points you earn, the more you can wager, and just to see, if you can get some of these questions that I pose, if you can get them correct or not. I only have 2 options to give you. So it's not like I can have a slew of 3 or 4, so they're always just a 50-50 type deal. And of course, the more that you're here watching, the more you can kind of get a sense for, maybe what will be the outcome on some of these, and maybe give you a little bit of an insider's edge, so to speak. All right, we've got Forza Motorsport 7 back up and running. Let me go ahead and join back into the lobby, and hopefully we'll have some qualifying results to gander at. Hopefully. Voodoo. I don't know what that little bump was. Not sure what that was all about. All right. If it works the way I think it will, yes, it will. Lucky. All right, here they are, the qualifying times. This looks different. It's not in order, but it looks different. Penalty time. There was apparently there was the whatchamacallit, the race regulations applied to that qualifying session. That or just the way that the leaderboard is showing up for me looks weird. Cratron with a 105.761. That will be good for position 2, I think. Yeah, it is. Audrex with a 106.5. SFM Darkser. You see that exclamation mark in the triangle. That means that Darkser is, in fact, at the back of the pack and is going to try to go from 0 to hero. 107.5. The time really irrelevant. LS Subaru with the pole sitting 105.511, a 106.415 there for Onion. LS Barney with a 106.805, a 114 for Patches. Fear the Fun with a 107.9, a 107.6 for Slow Motion Fire. Kuda with a 109.2. CMD Slipstream with a 106.788. Nikki Bobby with a 110.055. All right, so for those of you who said 0 to 2 drivers would be dirty qualifiers here at Mugello, congratulations. You win the predictor there. We'll go ahead and throw another one up here in just a bit, but let me go turn my attention to the driver's spotlight where we've got SFM Darkser here to maybe tell us what happened there during qualifying.
Well, it's funny you should ask that, Dustin. The answer is I simply forgot how to drive. The second to last corner, the right-hander that has that curb on the right side, I just kept running onto it, but I did it in a different spot all 3 laps. So a little bit of lack of brain power there.
Yeah, I think that's Casanova there, turn number 6. As you would continue on to to make a left for the full circuit here on the club circuit, you just kind of continue turning right into turn number 7 and back toward the start-finish line. That's an area that I always struggle with. How were you elsewhere, though, through the chicanes and up the hill?
That was the first laps I did. Car feels fine. Probably going to be able to hopefully keep up with CT. I think Subaru may be a lost cause for this week, but it's Long Beach all over again, starting from the back.
Well, now, see, you can't say that. You can't say that catching up with Cratrim might be a lost cause because you proposed in the chat that this was a from last to did you say last to first moment or an opportunity? Last to
challenge.
First challenge, yes.
Yes.
So you can't already concede to Cratrim.
Well, I mean, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. I'll certainly do what I can.
Very good. Very good. And then, you know, I wouldn't say it's an overly difficult track. Sure, the last part of it is a little tricky if you don't have your braking right and you're running wide off into the grass out of 6 and then out of 7 toward the start-finish line. But with traffic out there and being that it's a short track, so you're going to have traffic kind of over and over again, that's a variable for the club circuit here that you'll also have to take into consideration.
Yeah, you definitely need to have good spatial awareness with this track, especially considering getting on the inside for one corner may mean you're very compromised on the next. So there's going to be a bit of mental calculations going on with the passes. And I do think you're going to see a couple of almighty dive bombs into turn 1, at least in the opening laps.
Almighty dive bombs, he says. Mental calculations, already that meme of like numbers just kind of flashing by my head as I stare, you know, thoughtlessly into the air of trying to assemble those calculations. That's what comes to my mind. Darkster, I would say well done in qualifying and best of luck in the race, but I guess really I have to just say best of luck to you in the race.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, SFM Darkster going to get back into the lobby here. 12 drivers on the grid here this evening. Forza Spec Racing Series, wonderful, lovely group of folks to race with. A very diverse group of folks, very inclusive. I definitely encourage you, if you are interested in getting involved in community-based racing here in the Forza community, or if you've already been a part of community racing in the past, but perhaps now you're kind of looking ahead to the next Forza Motorsport title and want to get back into the groove, check it out, reddit.com/r/FM4. All the details, everything you need to know. You can race in week number 4. You can race in the finale there for week number 5. And even though you won't be in the running for the championship, a good way for you to kind of get reacclimated to the virtual autosport side of things, and then prepare for season 45. Whoever the champion is, although it does look very favorable that LS Subaru will be that champion, whoever that champion is gets to select the vehicle for season 45. So we don't know yet what that will be. And for those who participate in the subreddit, where Slow Motion Fire posts kind of these obscure photos of the vehicle, whatever that vehicle is going to be, if you guess it correctly, you get to select one of the tracks. So it's a good advantage, a nice little way to give yourself a better shot at performing well there in the next season. If you guess the vehicle correctly based on any of those photos, then you could say, hey, let's go out to, I don't know, Laguna Seca. Let's go out to the short track of Suzuka, or whatever floats your boat, you get to select it. All right, here we go. We're getting ready for the racing. LS Subaru and Crate round out row number 1. Onion with too many eyes there, P3, starts row number 2. Let's go ahead and give ourselves some audio. C500 here in the 1973 Mazda RX-3, 233 horsepower, 199 foot-pounds of torque, 1,799 pounds curb weight. We've got quite a bit of racing here out at Mugello. Kick the tires, light the fires. We are underway, week number 3, finishing out the first half of season 44 and heading into turn number 1. San Donato is going to be none other than LS Subaru with the Golf-like livery there. And I guess, well, I say Golf-like. I'm sure there's a lot of aficionados who would say, no, you see here, Dustin, the differences are this, that, and the other. Cratrim is in second, Onion with too many eyes in third, Audrex in fourth, Barney in fifth, Slipstream in sixth, Fear the Fun in seventh, Slow Motion Fire is eighth, Cuda and Darkser are 9 and 10 respectively. Out of the S's, turn number 5, that's Borgo San Lorenzo, up to turn 6, which is Casanova. We talked about it with the SFM Darkster there. You got that runoff area, but it quickly kind of merges back into the track, and then it's a sand trap. And then you roll downhill, continue to roll downhill toward the grass and that wall, and then across the line. Lap number 1 is complete, and LS Subaru already establishing a pretty commanding lead. Cratrim try as he might to keep up. This is already a favorable sign here for Subaru. Cratrim in second again, Onion, Audrex, and LS Barney. I forgot to do the predictor. We'll bring back the predictor for the next qualifying in the next race. With that freezing of the game, I got thrown off a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and jump back where we've got some closer racing action. Let's go to CMB Slipstream, who again is showing up for the first time here in season 44. That indicated by the rather bland paint job. He grabbed a car, got it all equipped with the right upgrades, and hopped right out here on the track. No time for livery work. Just nice little blue paint job. I don't even know if that's a factory color. And here they go, 3 wide down the front stretch. It is 4th place of Barney, 5th of Audrex, and Slipstream. They're going to continue 3 wide here up to turn number 1. What gives? Because something's going to have to. Sure enough, Audrex gets behind LS Barney. There goes Slipstream to the inside. And just like that, we've got a little change of position here into the top 5. And now, hot on the heels of Darkser and Slipstream, that is Fear the Fun and Audrex, who continues to fall rearward. A little bit of smoke there as Slipstream gets sideways. And I've got to start my replay thing. That way I can catch some replays here. I totally forgot the replay buffer was not rolling. All right, so with that, we've got Barney up to 4th, Darkser in 5th, all the way back from all the way up from 12th position. Fear the Fun in 7th, Audrex has fallen back to 8th, Kuda in 9th, and Slow Motion Fire still back there in 10th. Pull the camera back out, and everybody's gone into single file formation here, going through turn 2 and 3. That's Luco and Poggio Secco. We got the Mugello Club Circuit. 28 laps is what we have here in this race. 28. As always, that 29th lap there you see in the upper left, that'll just be a cooldown. So pay no mind to that. What we're looking for is where everybody finishes on lap number 28, or at the conclusion of lap 28. Here comes Slipstream now down the hill. Very well positioned. Darkser not so much. Going to John Deere it there. Grab some turf. Back out onto the asphalt and across the line for the beginning of lap number 5. Craytrim has closed in on Subaru. Let's go up there to second position. As we see Craytrim trailing by about 2.5, maybe 3 car lengths coming out of turn number 1. Now through the first series of S-turns. First chicane. Little backfire here on the RX-3. And so just as quickly as I say that Craytrim is starting to close in on LS Subaru starts to pull away. Let's go back to LS Barney there in 4th. He's got Onion with too many eyes out in front of him in 3rd. Darkser behind him in 5th. Darkser going for that 0 to hero challenge, last to 1st. He's got his work cut out for him, though. Like he said, he said it in the chat. He said that it's a challenge for him to go from last to 1st, but then suggested that it's quite a bit out of the realm of possibility to catch Craytrim. But who knows? Who knows? Back down the hill, lap number 6. No chance of precipitation. The only race that will feature some weather is coming up after this one, out at Suzuka Full. Hear me out, folks. You're watching right now on a Tuesday evening. Maybe you're kicked back, got yourself a cold beverage of choice. Maybe you're throwing back some snacks. If you know somebody who's got nothing else better to do here on a Tuesday, send them our way. Tell them to come on over to X-Venture here on Twitch TV. Hang out with us. Watch the racing action. It would be greatly appreciated. And then, and like I said, if you think you want to race here in FM4, reddit.com/r/FM4 is the place to go to be a part of the fun, and you will have fun. Guaranteed. It's mandatory fun. FM4 is mandatory fun. Barney holding strong there in 4th. Not giving up any ground to Darkser and keeping close tabs here on Onion. You can see way out there in the distance is Craytrim in 2nd and Subaru in 1st. Let's go ahead and give some love to our folks who are maybe on... I say at the back of the pack. We've got 12 drivers here this evening, a little bit less than what we're used to in the Forza Spec Racing Series, but the back of the pack is happens to be the folks who kind of ran out the top 10 here. Slow Motion Fire has moved up to 8th position from 10th. Fear the Fun in ninth, and then Audrex. Wow. Didn't even notice how far Audrex dropped back. I don't know if Audrex maybe had to go into pit lane. I don't think that would be the case. I mean, it's really hard to make contact with a wall here at Mugello. You got to go out of your way to hit a wall. And then any contact with the car, I think would be purely superficial. Like, you get some scratches and some bumps and bruises, but I don't think you'd really get enough speed going here with a car that you're traveling with to get any damage. I could be wrong. All right, let's go back up to Darkser here, who is closing in on Barney right on the back bumper across the line, beginning of lap number 9 up to, what is that? San Donato, turn number 1. And then for those of you who are tuned in, and maybe you're not already following the channel, and if you are enjoying the content, please click that follow button. We've got some follower emotes for you. Some emotes to have here on Twitch if you click that follow button. And then you'll get we'll also have a little pop-up there at the bottom of the screen when you do follow, and that way we can properly and formally acknowledge you. Yeah. Not formerly. Formally. Side by side, LS Barney, SFM Darkser coming up to turn number 1. Is Darkser going to go for it here? Crowds the inside, doesn't allow Barney to come down onto the apex, and just like that, Darkser with the smooth move up to 4th, and now tracking Onion for 3rd. We go back to it here with the X-Venture replay. Even if you could do without me, and the reason why you don't click the follow button is because of me, then at least give a follow because of the replay. I mean, come on. Try to make this as well put together as possible. Having fun doing it as well. Glad to be back with the FM4 crew here after a little bit of a break there. Having to relocate. Move a few states over and picking things pretty much right back where we left off. I mean, sure, there were 2 or 3 seasons that had passed by while I was gone, but for those of you who've been here a while, it feels like we just jumped back into it, right? Lockstep. Barely missed a beat. Here comes LS Barney, who we saw get passed there by Darkser. Trying to keep pace. Darkser is not immune to making mistakes, so if Barney can keep his pace going, and then Darkser slips up, maybe as he's trying to work around Onion here, then perhaps Barney can reclaim a spot or two. Closing in on the midpoint of this race. And then after we complete this race, it'll be the midpoint of the season. And then we'll start the back half with a full dosage of Suzuka. LS Barney getting 4 tires onto the outside of the white lines. That might be permissible. They might allow that here in FM4. The curbing here at Mugello is quite wide. You could probably get about 1.5 RX3s sitting there nicely on the curbing. That's how wide these corners are. Mugello, if I'm not mistaken, hosted its first Formula One race last season, right? I think it did. Amazing to think that that this track had not previously, in the full version of this track, not the one we're racing here tonight, but the full version of this track had escaped the action of Formula One for so long. Now, granted, there's all kinds of other tracks in Italy for Formula One racing, so I guess if you got a Grand Prix, you got more options beyond just Mugello. But I think they raced out here. Or maybe they're thinking about it. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I'm not the biggest Formula One fan. That's probably a misnomer to call me a fan at all. I hear things. I hear things out there, and I try to keep track of what's going on. Here comes Krejcim. Look at this. Closing in on Subaru. I don't know if Subaru is toying with him or if Krejcim has genuinely... That's not to cut Krejcim short and underestimate his capability. I mean, Krejcim has the most championships in the Forza Spec Racing Series. It's just that Subaru is that good that Krejcim has yet to pass him here. Has yet to finish higher than Subaru in the first 4 races of Season 44. We'll kind of hang out here for a little bit. This is impressively close. This is the closest we've seen these two, apart from out at the Dubai Mountain Circuit reverse, where Subaru had a disconnect of his controller, had to plug it back in with the cord. Apart from that, this has been really the only other time that we've seen these two together, and now they're starting to approach lap traffic, so this could make things interesting here. It's Nicky Bobby who is the caboose on this train that's trucking around Mugello, and Nicky Bobby is going to go ahead and go wide there through Casanova. Very nicely done. That is a perfect example of the expectations of the Forza Spec Racing Series. You don't have to be fast. You don't have to be competing for the top spot. If you can race clean, that's all that's necessary. That's all they require. And even require is kind of, loose in the sense that, if there accidents happen, if you have an accident that you didn't mean to catch somebody and have some sort of incident, those things are excusable. Accidents happen, but they just want to see a consistent record of you driving clean, and so long as you do, you'll be welcome back. Welcome back week after week. Back down the hill here on lap number 16. The tail end of lap 16. Look at that. You got the X-Venture logo on the back there of Krejcim's RX-3. Race air filter, the race carburetor, race ignition, race exhaust, sport rotors and compression, sport flywheel, race brakes, race springs and dampers. You got the race front and rear anti-roll bars, as well as the chassis reinforcement with the roll cage, race weight reduction, race clutch, sport transmission, race driveline, race differential, street tires, and the wheels are American Racing Torque Thrust M's, and wrapped around them are 205/55 14-inch street tires. Race front bumper, sport rear wing, and a single street turbo, again bringing the RX-3 here from 1973 up to 233 horsepower. All right, let's quickly duck away from the top two here. Let's go to Onion with Too Many Eyes in fifth now. So Onion has dropped back, has given way to Darkser and Ellis Barney. Onion with the Idea car, not the IKEA, but the Idea. Running through the field, Subaru, Cratrim, Darkser, Barney, Onion, Slipstream, Cuda, Audrex, Fear the Fun now back to 9th. Slow Motion Fire returns to 10th after being as far up as 8th, I do believe. 11th is Patches Riley. 12th is Nicky Bobby, who's getting lapped by the majority of the field at this point. As a matter of fact, you see Nicky Bobby coming into view here as 4, 5, and 6 get on by. Here comes Slipstream looking to the inside of Onion. Maybe it's not Onion with Too Many Eyes, even though that's what he says I could call him, but Onion. A little extra to the way that one is pronounced. Slipstream, can he make a pass into the top 5? Let's go ahead and ride on board. And across the line, beginning of lap number 20 of 28, Slipstream trying to make his way past Onion, because if he can, then he's got LS Barney up ahead. You can see there momentarily in view in the foreground. Subaru and Cratrim, 1 and 2 still. Oh no. Did we lose somebody? We had a quick little blip of the lobby. Let me see. Well, looks like everybody's still out there. Maybe a little hiccup either on my end or just the server. Who knows? A little squiggly there is Onion, and out of Poggio Secco, turn number 3. Kind of whipped the tail end of the RX-3 out there a little bit, and every time that happens, not SFM Darkser, but Slipstream, well, I don't know. Slipstream continues to kind of trekked backwards. Not catching up, but rather falling behind. Kuda 93 there in 7th. Haven't given him much of attention, and who knows if he can keep it clean here for the next 8 laps. 7 laps. Might be able to vie for 6th or 5th even. Let's go to Kuda. Kuda entering tonight's action with 64 total points in 10th overall on the leaderboard. Just behind Onion, FZA Lemon, who's not racing with us here tonight, would be in 8th at the moment on the leaderboard with 75 points. So a real opportunity here for Kuda if he can eke out a few more spots here at Mugello. Nice little grouping here from 4th of LS Barney on back to Kuda in 7th. And then you've got another little pack of cars. Audrex in 8th, Fear the Fun in 9th, Soul Motion Fire in 10th. Let's go to 2nd, Kratrim, who has reeled in Subaru once again. Maybe a little bit of late braking there by Subaru into turn number 1. Kratrim got really close to making the move, but at this point, Subaru has just got that lower line locked down. And another one of the back markers there off into the kitty litter as Patches Riley, knowing that 1st and 2nd were coming up quickly onto his back bumper. Got out of the way. You don't have to fling yourself off the track to make way for the drivers, but of course, if that's the best option for you, that's the one that you think will work out best for everybody, then by all means. But so long as you kind of give space for these drivers, they'll find a way by. They will find a way by. Get a nice little rotating camera around Kratrim's car here. Hopefully we get better. Like this shot right here is pretty good, although when they're in close competition, it would be nice to have the camera pull out a little bit. Hopefully, maybe we'll have some smart cameras, some smarter camera angles in the next Forza Motorsport titles so that that we don't have to deal with such a zoomed in view. Or at least maybe have the ability to control the zoom a bit. Here, nice little pulled back camera. But, I don't know, maybe with the next Forza Motorsport title, and perhaps if they are trying to revive the Forza Racing Championship, the FRC, maybe we'll see some improved spectator options or perhaps a dedicated broadcaster mode here. Lap number 26 of 28, so 2.5 to go here as they hit the back straightaway at the Mugello Club Circuit. Race number 1 of this evening. We've got another one coming at you here right after this. We'll do 3 laps of qualifying around Suzuka in the rain, and then that will be followed by the race in its entirety. Again, heavy rain, fog, and then closing out that one with a little bit less fog, but the weather will be a factor in race number 2 this evening. Across the line, lap number 27. Next time by will be the white flag. SFM Darkser has now peeled away from the pack and is running solo at this moment. LS Barney in 4th, Slipstream in 5th, Onion with Too Many Eyes in 6th, and Kuda 93 in 7th. So a nice grouping of 4 there for that 4th place position. We're going to keep the camera here, though. I mean, this is just a little bit too close to peel away. If Creatrium could snag the top spot, that would be amazing and would put the kibosh on Subaru sweeping the series, sweeping season 44. Subaru, I thought, had gotten around lap traffic cleanly. Now he catches the grass a little bit, so winds the tires up a little bit before he's able to get back out on the racing surface across the line. And the white flag figuratively flies. I don't think there's an actual flag stand man that waves the white flag here. Certainly not the way they've got things set up here in the game, but with this being technically not the last lap for the game as in terms of what the game recognizes, but it is, for all intents and purposes, the final lap. Halfway through it, through the second set of chicanes. And Subaru has it locked down there. Let's see here as we go through the double right-hander. Turn 6, Casanova. Turn 7 through the midfield and onto the front straightaway. Raytrim just not going to be able to make it happen. As a matter of fact, he slides the back end out. And Subaru is going to pick up the 5th victory here in Season 44, followed by Craytrim. Eventually, Darkser will come across the line, but he's quite a ways back now, just hitting turn number 6 at this point. Let's go to 5th with CMD Slipstream, Barney in 4th, and then you see there behind Slipstream is Kuda 93, and Onion with Too Many Eyes has fallen back to 7th now at this point. And that's how they're going to finish. No change of position here as they cross the line. Let's go to Fear the Fun. Actually, let's go to Slow Motion Fire in 10th. Fear the Fun in 9th. Not going to be able to get around Fear. That's how those two will finish. And then Patches Riley and Nicky Bobby will just call it an early race for them. They are 11th and 12th, respectively. All right. Well, there you go. I talked about the races being in the books. Well, now race number 1 of this evening is most certainly in the books. We've got more coming at you here, though. The racing is not over. Suzuka full. First, the 3 laps of qualifying, and then the race itself. We'll be right back here on X-Venture. I'm Dustin Moore. Don't go anywhere. For those of you who are not subscribers to the channel, yes, you will see some ads. No, you are not going to miss any of the racing action. I promise you. And those of you who are subscribers to the channel, thank you, thank you, thank you. You get to listen to some cool tunes. And everybody, go ahead. You could throw some emotes there in the channel or in the chat, and they'll dance around on the screen for you. And then we'll be on the backside. We'll come back at you here after 3 minutes worth of ads. And perhaps we'll talk to some of our drivers here in the driver spotlight before we go out to Suzuka. Again, you're watching the Forza Spec Racing Series here live on Twitch TV. I'm Dustin Moore. We'll be right back. Let me try that again with the mic unmuted. Welcome back to Xventure Live on Twitch TV. I'm Dustin Moore. We've completed race number 5 here of season 44 in the Forza Spec Racing Series, getting ready for race number 6 of the overall season, our second race here tonight, and that starts the back half march toward the finale there 2 weeks from tonight, February the 8th, I do believe it is, and we'll be live 8 p.m. Eastern, of course, for that coverage. Not to overlook a week from tonight, which is week number 4. Those will be a couple of great races as well. We'll take a look at the schedule a little bit later on. But let's jump on over to the driver's spotlight where we've got our race leader, LS Subaru. Subaru, that race was a bit closer than I might have predicted here at Mugello. Cratcham was able to reel you in for the back half of the 28 laps and stayed there for quite a while.
Yeah, most of the race was really just like half a second to a second between us two. The car felt okay, I suppose. I didn't really get much practice in this week, so that probably explains my little bit of drop off in pace, but it was still a great race anyways.
Didn't get any practice in with the car before tonight's racing. A little bit off of the pace at Mugello. So what does that mean now heading out to Suzuka with the precipitation?
Despite even though this is my favorite race on the calendar, I feel like qualifying and the race might be a repeat of Mugello, because last season when we raced in Suzuka, I actually qualified behind Doxa, and he was ahead of me for like 95% of the race.
Are you just saying that you really like this race here on the schedule because your LS teammate Barney picked it?
No, I just love Suzuka as a whole.
Is there any part of the track that you don't like? I mean, you've got, what is it, 130R there on the back part of the circuit, turn 15, which can be tricky because a lot of drivers try to go in there full speed ahead. Or is it Spoon, which is kind of this big, wide left-hander there on the backside of the track? Is there any particular part of the track that you don't like?
I would say the 2 parts of the track that I struggle the most at, or 3 parts. Turn 1, that's a bit of an iffy braking zone. The right-hander before you go under the bridge, and I would say the chicane like right at the very end of the circuit. Those are like the 3 parts of the track that I struggle the most at.
Got it. And for those who aren't in the know, when weather is turned on here in Forza Motorsport 7, the game automatically, by default, hooks you up with some rain tires. Now, we know the first part of the race is going to be in heavy rain, and then as we transition throughout the race, that'll change. Do those tires, once we come out of rain conditions, will that have any effect on the car's handling, or is it pretty manageable no matter if it rain's falling or not?
Well, of course, the grip is going to change once the rain stops and the track dries up.
Mm-hmm.
But the setup I have is pretty much the same setup that I used for Hockenheim, I think, just with different camber values and a different gear ratios, and that's pretty much it. Oh, and the downforce as well has also been adjusted, but that's pretty much it.
Very good. Nice little insight here from LS Subaru about the planning in terms of tuning. Of course, if you want to race here with the Forza Spec Racing Series, you don't have to be that into the tuning thing. But there are a lot of folks here that take part in the series who are more than happy to help out with that and kind of inform some of your decision making as you go from race to race. Subaru, well done. 5 straight victories here in Season 4. Best of luck to you in the qualifying at the long-winded Suzuka circuit.
Thank you.
Long-winded indeed, because it is a 3.61 mile track here, the full circuit, and in the wet, so that could be especially troublesome for some of our drivers. Let's go ahead and put a predictor together because I forgot to do it for the race, so might as well at least have one here for Suzuka. Will LS Subaru qualify on pole. Now, you might be thinking he's been able to this entire season, that being qualifying on pole. But who knows? Maybe that changes here. Maybe Kratrim, maybe Darkser, maybe CMD Slipstream. Will LS Subaru qualify on pole? We'll go ahead and we'll run this one for, I don't know, what will be sufficient here. I think we can run it for maybe 5 minutes and be okay. Go ahead and use your channel points to cast your vote. And because they have no monetary value and you really don't lose anything by doing so, wager a guess, and you can go with the default number of channel points that that Twitch will set you at, or you can increase it as you wish, as bold as you want to be. We've already got one person saying, yeah, Subaru is going to be on pole. Whether you like it or not, he's going to make it happen. We shall see. Kratrim was looking really strong there out at Mugello. And I don't know, Kratrim, I feel like Kratrim has a chance on this one. I feel like he really does. Let's go ahead and load up the game here, and you hear the raindrops falling. The ambiance of the rain, the environmental noise might actually be louder than the engines here on the RX-3 as we scoot around the track. Into turn number 1 we go, where LS Subaru suggested that the braking can be a little bit iffy, especially if you got some water underneath those tires. Maybe get hydroplaning action going while you're trying to apply the brakes. That can be fun. And clearly, the organizers here, Slow Motion Fire and Fear the Fun, have opted to put the qualifying session in the rain. And so while the race in its entirety will not be heavy rain, that's what they're going to have to deal with here. Like it or not. Suzuka, I'm pretty sure, is one of the original tracks here in Forza Motorsport, the Forza Motorsport series. For as long as I can remember, Forza Motorsport 1 might be the exception. Perhaps it showed up in Forza Motorsport 2, or, gosh, I don't think it was as far as late into the series as 3, but I'm quite positive that Suzuka's been around a bit. Motegi being the other Japan-based track. We lost Motegi. What, after 4, I think it was? I think Forza Motorsport 4 may have had it, and then 5, 6, and 7 have gone without. We'll see if maybe that one comes back at some point. That is kind of a staple of Gran Turismo, that track, for sure. But it has existed in Forza Motorsport's past. All right, so out of Spoon they come. Well, at least the first few cars and the rest of the pack to follow. And then here comes the ever-so-tricky 130R. Now, I think they have flattened that corner out a bit. I do believe this model of Suzuka is a bit out of date, and that they have flattened out 130R to not be so dangerous. We've seen, and I think it's part of our highlight reel, the intro here to the Forza Spec Racing Series. We've seen some pretty gnarly collisions there, especially when the tire barrier is set up there. We don't have the tire barriers up here during qualifying, but when they are there, that just adds that little extra ounce of scary, because folks will try to cut that corner as close as possible, and then they grab some tire. All right, you got a few seconds left here to cast your vote, to wager your channel points. We've got one person who has said, yes, LS Subaru is going to qualify on pole. We've got one person who has said, no, Subaru will not qualify pole, and both of those people have gone pretty conservative with their channel points. Not a lot of channel points up for grabs on this one. Right now, Subaru does have the top time. Granted, that was from a standing start. We have yet to clock any flying laps here. So you got a few seconds remaining. Drop some channel points there on what your guess is, and we'll see if you're right. Onion says, I was so disappointed with that result, talking about the Mugello. I think that was 7th place there for Onion with too many eyes. And sorry, we're stuck here on Onion. Let me go ahead and put the camera on. Let's go to Ellis Barney right now. 2nd quickest qualifying time. Oh, and at the last second there, somebody said yes. Subaru will qualify on pole, and so we have an equal amount of points on either side here. 510 channel points have been wagered in favor of Subaru being on pole. 510 channel points saying that Subaru will not. 235.4 there is the standing start time. 3.61 miles, so yeah, this is a lengthy track. It's going to take us a little bit. And so while the lap count may not be especially high, there will be plenty of racing. Krejcim with the third quickest qualifying time at this point. CMB Slipstream, but with these not being flying laps, it doesn't really tell us much. Here they go across the line. Let's go up to Krejcim with that 232. Now let's see what Subaru may clock in at. And Subaru crosses the line with a 231.4. Oh, we got the loading screen. Oh, Darkser. Darkser unable to finish qualifying here. So with Subaru moving up to pole, at least for now, Krejcim with the 2nd quickest time, which is a flashback to the Mugello qualifying. Those two were on row number 1. Kuda right now with the 3rd quickest, Audrex with the 4th, Slipstream with the 5th. Hunting with too many eyes has 6th, Barney with 7th, Patches Riley in 8th, Slow Motion Fire 9th, Fear the Fun the 10th quickest time. I am pretty positive that Suzuka is, being that weather is available as an option, that you can't have rain like we see here. I'm pretty sure Suzuka benefited from Turn 10's kind of pulling back on the puddles. If you remember when rain was first introduced to the series in Forza Motorsport 5, got some really gnarly puddles out there on the track, to the point where I was like, no racing association in their right mind would ever race with these kinds of conditions. And while there are still some puddles smattered around the various tracks that have the rain feature, I think it's a little bit less terrifying here at Suzuka. I think there were some pretty crazy ones here on the front straightaway, if I'm not mistaken. Unfortunately for Krejcim, not able to best Subaru's time there on that 3rd and final flying lap. Let's see if Subaru is able to do one better here after pulling a 231. Nope, 231.4 is the best that Subaru can muster here on the 3rd and final qualifying lap. Here comes Kuda 93. He's going to have the 3rd quickest qualifying time, at least for now. Patches Riley in the Dynaco car, 9th. Nicely done. And so we'll get out of the rain here in just a minute. Go ahead and make an early exit for us here on the broadcast. And we'll get ready to take a look at the qualifying times. How y'all doing? Good to see you. Just 2.5 weeks left of racing here in season number 44. It's been a lot of fun. We had a really exciting week number 1. Week number 2, a little bit more subdued. Things out at Mugello were quite interesting. Krejcim was able to keep pace with Subaru, but unfortunately not. Well, unfortunately for him, fortunate for Subaru, unable to make the pass to claim the victory. So the question really is, will somebody be able to beat Subaru in one of these 4 remaining races, to include the one that we have here at Suzuka, to prevent that sweep? No driver has been able to execute it, to be able to make it happen here in FM4, where they've been victorious in 9 straight races, all in one season. That would be the Golden Broom, as they're calling it. And so will Subaru be sweeping with that Golden Broom come 2 weeks from tonight? We shall see. All right, qualifying has finally come to an end out here, or, well, I say that, but it truly hasn't. There it goes. There it is. Let's go take a look at those lap times. Krejcim with a 2:32. That is good enough for P2. We'll join LS Subaru there on row number 1 for the start of this race. And then Subaru, there you see with the pole setting time of 2:31.4. Onion with too many eyes at 2:35.5. Kudo with a 2:34.0. Fear the Fun with a 2:35.0. Audrex with a 2:33, 2:43 for Slow Motion Fire. That's going to put Slow Motion Fire all the way back there in 11th, unless Darkser does not run here after the DNF. Slipstream with a 2:34.5, a 2:41, a 2:40.1 for Patches Riley, a 2:37.2 for Barney, and then Nicky Bobby with a 2:55.8 dirty. So Nicky Bobby will be the last vehicle on the grid, regardless of anybody else's qualifying time. For those of you who dared a whole 510 channel points, and said that Subaru would qualify on pole, congratulations. You are successful. I don't know. Let's just go with it again. Let's just stick with it. Will LS Subaru win at Suzuka? We'll give it a shot here. Because really, I mean, if Subaru wins out here in week number 3, that'll be 3 straight weeks of victory, which almost solidifies that championship position. We'll go ahead and we'll run the submission period on this one for 15 minutes. So even as we go into the race here, you'll get to decide whether or not you want to go one side or the other. Let's go ahead and bring SDR Union into the chat here, or in the driver's spotlight. In the chat, you were saying a disappointing finish out there at Mugello. I think it was 7th. Why so disappointing? What were you hoping to get there?
I was hoping to get, well, better than that, at least P4 or P5. Qualied P3. Stunning quali. I don't know. I always botch quali, but I actually put a lap together. And then I just made some mistakes. Dropped down to 7th and couldn't bring it back from there.
Had some real stiff competition there from 4th on back to 8th position. We saw SFM Darkster obviously make his way all the way from the back of the pack up to mid pack. Ellis Barney, who you were kind of duking it out with there for a little bit. CMD Slipstream, who showed up for the first time here in season 44, was able to get out in front of you there at Mugello. How do you see this grouping playing out here at Suzuka? Do you think you guys are going to be traveling around each other, or is your hope to kind of put them in your rearview mirror and cruise up there and fight for 3rd?
I mean, always the hope is to put them in your rearview mirror.
Yeah.
But whether or not that's realistic, I don't know. I'm usually pretty bad here. Suzuka in the wet, not a great track for me. I just can't get this car rotated in the hairpin ever, and just general throttle control stuff.
Hairpin coming out of turn number 10, going into turn number 11, just before you start making that run over to Spoon. Is it all hairpins that you're struggling with on this car, or is it this one particular here at Subaru that gives you fits?
I don't think I've ever driven it at a different hairpin. Maybe I have, but this one in particular is brutal. Just understeers through the corner entry, and then as soon as you get on the throttle, it just pushes out to the curb.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if maybe we had another one. The only thing that really stands out to me is, there was, I don't know, Oak Tree at VIR is kind of an elongated hairpin, so I don't think that one really counts. Perhaps at the Dubai Mountain Circuit, there's one as you get to the top of the hill up there by the resort. But either way, we'll see how things go here. What's your prediction? Obviously you want to see yourself as far up as possible, but being that 7th was disappointing to you, what is going to be satisfying here at Suzuka?
I think here at Suzuka, 17th. No, 7th will be pretty good. I'd like to make up another spot or two. I don't know who's qualified behind me, but I think if I can get another spot or two, that'll be good.
All right, Onion with too many eyes qualified P3. Starting out row number 2, opposite of him. Well, actually, pardon me. That's I'm looking at the qualifying standings there. That may not be accurate, but going to try to take what happened here in the qualifying session and turn it into a nice, solid top 10 finish when it's all said and done at Suzuka. Best of luck to you, Onion.
Thank you, man.
All right, there you go. Driver's Spotlight, one of my favorite parts of the broadcast here. Get to chat with the drivers, get to think or hear what they think about how things are going. Interestingly enough, Onion saying that what would be satisfying is a 7th place finish, despite it being disappointing, quote unquote, disappointing in his words, coming out of Mugello. So from track to track, sometimes your expectations are a little bit higher, and then you get to another one like this in the wet, and your expectations come down a little bit lower. I think he can do better, though. I think he can do better. 7th? Come on, you got 5th, 4th, maybe even. I'm rooting him on. Let's see. A few of you are already throwing some channel points down. Oh, and bold too. We've got a lot of channel points at risk or up for grabs here. Let's see. 3 of you with 30,600 channel points, saying that Subaru, will continue the winning streak. 6 straight here in season 44. Another 3 of you have thrown down 31.1K, saying no, this is it. This is where the victories come to a head here for Subaru in season 44. I like it. Bold. Still a lot of time. Probably about 7 or 8 minutes remaining there on that predictor. Use those channel points, which have no monetary value whatsoever, to just kind of wager a guess, see if you're correct, and enjoy the bragging rights if you are. All right, here they are, all lined up on the grid. LS Subaru, who's on the pole spot, gets to indicate the start of this race. As soon as he pulls away, everybody else is able to do so. Kick the tires, light the fires. Our last race of the evening out here at Suzuka in the wet for 12 laps, 3.61 mile circuit is underway. Into turn number 1 they go, all humming along there. Buzzing are the RX3s. 233 horsepower, C500 performance index here in Forza Motorsport 7. Kratrum in 2nd, Kuda 93 in 3rd, Audrex in 4th, Darkser in 5th, Slipstream in 6th, Onion, who we just chatted with there in the driver's spotlight, back in 7th position. Behind him is Fear the Fun in 8th, Barney in 9th, Patches Riley in 10th, Slow Motion Fire, Nicky Bobby. 12 drivers out on the track. Everybody finished there in race number 1 at Mugello. That's what we like to see. Hopefully we can see the same here at Suzuka. The rain will let off here at the point at which we start 2/3 of the race in terms of laps. Drop back to Fear the Fun in 4th. Fear the Fun not having the greatest of luck here in Season 44. Entered week number 3 with 62 points. 11th overall on the leaderboard. Up the spoon. Got Barney to the inside of Fear the Fun. Fear the Fun. Off into the dirt. Oh, nice. We get to go under the ground. That's a feature. That's not a glitch. It's a feature. The subterranean camera. Love it. Fear the Fun now dropping back to 8th position. So that allows Onion with Too Many Eyes to move up to 7th, or to stay in 7th after, or to reclaim 7th. Because I think that's where he qualified. I errantly said that he qualified on row 2. Oh, there goes Fear the Fun. Cutting through turn number 18 out of Casio Triangle. Fear the Fun just having a heck of a drive and not necessarily in the best of ways. Let's go up to Barney in 4th. Got the rooster tails going as they get up to speed. Through the S curves. Now coming up to turn number 8. This is Degner curve. Here at Suzuka, and it's a satisfying corner to get right. Ooh, Barney a little bit wide there coming off of turn number 9. Same can be said for, oh, it looks like 2 vehicles. Both Fear the Fun and Onion. Onion who drops back now to 8th with Slipstream lurking. Not even lurking, but rather getting onto the driver's side door panel there momentarily. Letting Onion know, hey, I'm here. Looking to make a move. And that's what Slipstream's going to try to do here. Coming through Spoon. On the inside line, Onion on the outside. And let's see, Onion's got the advantage here. A little bit more speed, more momentum coming out of turn 13. And now hits the back straightaway. So Slipstream had it momentarily. Now they're going to go, are they going to go side by side here in the 130R? Oh boy, well, Slipstream backs off a little bit. Probably a wise decision very early on in the race here to be so bold. No, you don't have that tire wall to worry about, but you don't want to press the issue, and especially here in the rain, you don't want to hydroplane, slide up into your opponent and take both of you out. That would be bad. Be bad news. Onion going to try to catch back up with Fear the Fun. Kuda in 6th, Audrex in 5th, Barney in 4th, Darkster in 3rd, Kratrium in 2nd. Let's go to Kratrium. The man formerly known as C-Tom. Again, the most championships owned by any one driver belongs to Kratrium. And so if that doesn't tell you how well Subaru drives this RX-3, I don't know what else does. If you're beating out the driver with the most championships, you're doing something, you're doing a lot of things right. Underneath the bridge there, it is a figure 8 of sorts here at Suzuka. driving under the part in which you drive over for 130R. Now into turn number, this is turn 11, hairpin. That Onion said, hey, I struggle at this corner. Onion currently in 8th. Slipstream still in 9th. Slow Motion Fire in 10th. Patches Riley in 11th. Nicky Bobby in 12th. Let's go to Kuda 93 in 6th. Just a few more minutes remaining here on the predictor. We've got another vote for no, that Subaru will not win at Suzuka. And we'll see if anybody jumps in at the last minute. Some of these predictors, they do trickle into the race itself, so you can kind of just lurk and try to snipe a correct decision here at the very last minute. You can try. Doesn't always work. Up to 16 and 17, the Casio triangle here. You got that big Ferris wheel off to the right-hand side, at least the way that our camera's looking here, toward the grandstand. I don't know that anybody's riding that sucker here today in the rain. Why not? They're just virtual sprites. They're not real people. I like that view there. You low into turn number 1. You can see how close to the apex some of these drivers, they're lying, and others kind of stay the midpoint of that corner. Kuda just having a great drive here tonight. As I mentioned earlier, Kuda 10th overall on the leaderboard coming into week number 3. And actually, this is going to fare really well for Kuda here, both race number 5 and 6. If he could stay put or even finish higher, because he was trailing Onion by just 4 points. Looking to make a jump, and then would surpass FZA Lemon and the Witchy Lady, who are non-participants here in week number 3. So Kuda stands to make a jump on the leaderboard for season 44. Subaru still our race leader. Kratium trying to keep as close as possible. They're out of Spoon. Heading to turn 15. Thanks for joining us this Tuesday evening. Forza Spec Racing Series action live on Twitch TV. Xventure. If you're new to the channel, would love to see you maybe give a shout there in the chat. You can lurk. You can go back into lurk mode. That's okay. But if you want to say hi, I'd love to be able to engage with the folks. Those of you out there watching the channel, and for everybody who's watching on demand, I know some of the racers go back and watch the broadcast on demand, and quite a handful of others clearly go and watch the VOD after the fact. Thank you, and anybody who might be watching the recording on YouTube. Appreciate you finding the channel and watching the racing that way. Even if you can't join us in the moment live, that's okay. I acknowledge the fact that we got viewers on both sides of the spectrum, live and recorded. Good stuff. Good stuff. Hopefully be able to catch y'all again a week from tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, for week number 4. And if you're enjoying your time here, please click the follow button. We'll get a little notification there at the bottom of the screen, and we'll give you a nice little shout out. Here comes Kuda. Like I said, having a great drive here tonight. On the back of Audrex, moves to the inside. As they come through turn 12, now up to 13. Audrex on the low line, Kuda on the high side. Oh, really on the high side on the back half of that corner. That's not the best line. Let's see if he can clean it up a bit. Have another go at it here, maybe into turn number 1. And let's see, out in front of them, they've got Barney. Closing in on Barney is Audrex and Kuda. A little bit of a team effort here. Barney off the track. This is Barney's selection. Barney put this one on the books, on the calendar here for season 44, and now is at risk of losing 4th position. Audrex to the low line, or at least the inside. Maybe not the lowest of lines here through turn 18. And now down the front straightaway, they're going to be side by side. Audrex is going to drop back a little bit here. Kuda moves up to 5th. Well done, Kuda. Go back to it here on the X-Venture replay. Able to win a drag race. Didn't even have to catch him in turn number 1. Turn 1 helped solidify the position. But Kuda actually beat Audrex down the front straightaway. Maybe a little bit of a different setup in the tuning is what made that possible. They do have the race front bumper, so depending on what the arrow was set at, probably made all the difference there. Kracham in second, just continues to fall back from Subaru there. Not looking good for those of you who said that Subaru was not or is not going to win Suzuka. We did have somebody else join in there at the end of the predictor and wager a no. 30.6K on the line for those who said yes, 32.2K on the line for those who said no. I like it. Going big on the prediction, on the bets. All for fun. All for fun. We're staying put here with Kuda, who is in 5th. Barney in 4th. Audrex in 5th. Really our closest competition through the top 5. And then you've got a good one brewing between Fear the Fun in 7th and Onion in 8th. Onion trying to get into 7th to meet his goal here. In the driver's spotlight saying that would be a satisfying finish for him. I don't know if I do know for a fact. I told you guys last week that the company that owns the license for the song, or owns the rights to the song that is in my intro video, to which I bought a license, as soon as I loaded up week number 2's recording to YouTube. Granted, this is all automated, but their system flagged it again. And now I just got alerted that they've gone ahead and released that copyright claim. This continues to be a thing. I don't know why. All of a sudden, their system keeps flagging me. I told them, I said, how can we resolve this? Why do you guys keep flagging my videos? For those of you who are subscribed, yes, the portion of the proceeds that I get after Twitch takes their cut go to supporting things like paying for the license of the music so that I'm doing good by the creators, the people who put the time in to create the music that I use. Not only for the intro, but then also for the countdown. Some of that music you hear there, and then in the intermission, your support helps me keep honest with the creators of that music. I obviously want to support those who are more creative than I am, are able to put that music and make it available. The least I can do is get a license, and I just hate it when things don't go right with the whatchamacallits, the right holders, the agencies, the firms who monitor those things. Still, a really good battle here for 4th. Barney, Kuda, Drex. 4, 5, and 6, respectively. I don't know how my pen cap keeps coming off. I'm going to have to get a new pen here so that this doesn't happen anymore. You want some more X-Venture action? More content? Yeah, I think I could provide that for you. Come join me this Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. 7 p.m. Eastern this Friday. I'll be playing more American Truck Simulator. That's always a good time. It's a good way to kind of unwind from the week, at least for me. Come out of the Friday workday, jump into ATS, just have a little bit of fun. I'm making progress. I'm getting back to where I was before I deleted my game save, and building up the More Trucking Company 2.0. Hang out with me. We'll banter a little bit. We'll have a good old time trying to try not to get speeding tickets and get the deliveries to where they need to go. Again, Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And then I'll be back on Sundays. Yes, I know I was off last weekend because I had to. It's just the way things happen sometimes. I'll be back on Sunday. However, I have changed it up. As I so often do, because, gosh, I'm just so scatterbrained when it comes to video games. As much as I love playing Horizon Zero Dawn, I just don't think it was fit for the channel. Like, obviously, it just wasn't as big of an interest in that gameplay. I'm going to continue to play that one off stream because I do enjoy the game, but we're going to bring SnowRunner Sunday into the mix this Sunday. So 4 hours of SnowRunner starting at 9 a.m. Eastern. 9 a.m. Eastern and going for 4 hours. SnowRunner. That one's a fun one too. See if I can try to keep the vehicles upright. I actually have made some progress in that game off stream, so come join me on Sunday and we can enjoy that together and see what other fun I can get into. I say fun. Sometimes it can become a bit frustrating, but that's the point of the game. All right, LS Subaru is our leader here in the 6th race of the season, followed by Kratrium, Darkser, Barney, Kuda, Drex, Fear the Fun, Slipstream, Onion with Too Many Eyes, and Slow Motion Fire. 10th position. Beyond 10th, it is Patches Riley and Nicky Bobby, 11th and 12th. Lap number 9 here of 12. As you can see, the rain. The race has not let up. The rain has let up. And now we've got that fog that we knew would come. Although it's less dense than it was maybe a few laps ago. So Pretty smooth sailing from here on out. The track will continue to dry. Or maybe it won't. I don't know. With these conditions, it might just stay damp like it is. But let's see if we have a change in position. This 4th, 5th, and 6th place battle really is the one to watch. So I know we haven't shifted our focus much, but there's a reason for that. There is a reason. Out of turn number 12, up to Spoon once again for the 9th time. On Sunday, we can see if we got to put the, well, we will have to. There's no doubt. It's just a part of the, it's just a part of the gameplay. It's a feature that is meant to be used and abused. Put that get the winch emote to use. I actually have a renewed sense of enjoyment with that game. Although there was a point where I was getting frustrated because of the lack of, or the difficulty in progression. Like it seemed like it was just a slog to get where I wanted to go. Well, like I said, I've made some progress offline, off stream, and now I've got a pretty good fleet of vehicles, which is making the tasks go by a bit easier. So, while it's still a bit of a grind, that game is very grindy. I've gotten to a point where I feel it's very enjoyable. The track has dried up for the most part. You see a few remaining puddles, like those here through the S-curves, but the track has dried up a lot better than I anticipated. Just in a lapsed time, most of it is no longer soaking wet now through Degner. Turn 8 into turn 9. A little bit of that ground fog there. There was a 40% chance of that. Well, it exists. Side by side now coming up the hairpin. LS Barney on the low side. Kuda on the outside. And they're going to continue to be side by side. Now coming up to turn 12. Kuda's going to move up. Kuda grabs P4 for now. Can he hold on to it? Into Spoon. Turn 13. Positioned nicely there. Yep, that's the line you want to take. That's the line that Stig practices and preaches. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. And Audrex there in 6th, not able to really make any ground. Go back to that little battle there for 4th. Barney, the tires slipping out from underneath him as he gets up onto the curbing there coming out of 130R. Didn't hurt his positioning too much. And across the line for beginning of lap 11. Next time by the flag stand will be the white flag. Final lap. Subaru with a pretty sizable lead here as we look at Cratrium. I applaud you. It's commendable, those of you who went against the grain there in saying that Subaru would not win here at Suzuka. You're bold, and I like it. It's just not going to work out for you here, I don't think, unless something terrible goes wrong for Subaru. in the remaining 1.5 laps. Let's go to Audrex. That's actually, it's right on board here for Audrex, or with Audrex. All these cars looking mighty twitchy. Getting through Spoon. The back end's kind of wiggling a little bit under braking. And sure, on a joystick, you know, you'll get less than super smooth steering, but it seems a bit exaggerated here in the RX-3. And we've heard drivers talk about the unique handling characteristics of the 73 RX-3 playing out before us here, and maybe that has to do with the rain tires too now on a dry surface. Perhaps a little bit more grip than what the drivers were experiencing a few laps ago. Continue to hang out here in this battle for fourth. Subaru, Creatrium, and Darkser have pretty much locked down 1, 2, and 3. And all drivers, once again, I think we saw it in week number 2. We see it here in week number 3. Everybody staying connected to the lobby, finishing out the race, not getting booted by the servers. What we like to see. All right, here we go. It's going to be Kuda and Barney once again side by side. This time, well, yeah, in hairpin. Exactly where they were side by side about 2 laps ago. And Kuda's going to hold on to 4th for now through 12. Onion with too many eyes, unfortunately, has fallen back to 9th position. Not where he wanted to finish this race at all. And like I said, that's going to be really good for Kuda in terms of the overall point standings. Kuda and Barney, we see Audrex here. Let me refocus the camera on Barney's car here with less than a half a lap to go here. The last quarter of the track, the 3.61 mile Suzuka full into 130R. Barney down on the rumble strip. Kuda's going to be out wide. Barney back up to 4th. And as they come up to the Casio triangle, Kuda maybe a little bit late braking. Gets to the outside of Barney. That's not where you want to be, though. And Barney, well, no, Barney's wide. Here comes Kuda down low. And they're going to be side by side coming up to the start-finish line. It's going to be Barney. Yes. Oh, they made contact. Kuda getting into the side of Barney, but Barney will finish in 4th. Kuda in 5th. Audrex in 6th. My, oh my, what a finish. I think I was a little... I think I was a little playful there at the end. I don't think that there was any ill intent on that one. Subaru, Creatrium, Darkser, and then what did I say? I say Kuda? Or Barney? Now I'm trying to remember who I said finished first on that one. I think it is Barney. Well, first out of those two drivers. Barney in 4th, Kuda in 5th is how they're lining up right now. Then Drex, who was kind of a spectator that entire race, was just watching that battle. Not really a part of it. Onion with too many eyes in 7th, although I'm not sure that that's really how that finished. Onion we last saw in 9th, so unless he made a last lap push there, I don't know. I suppose it's possible. I'll mark it down as such right now, and then we'll have to get clarification maybe from the drivers. Patches, Riley in 11th, and then that leaves Nicky Bobby for 12th. All right, folks. Well, week number 3 has come to an end, but that doesn't mean the broadcast is entirely over at this point. We'll go ahead and we'll run some ads while the drivers kind of put the controller down and take a little bit of a breath, and we'll bring some of them into the driver's spotlight to have a chat. We'll look ahead to week number 4. We'll talk about what else is happening here on the stream, although I've already done that. But for those of you who may have missed it, we'll revisit that, play some music, and for those who see ads, no worries. Hang tight, and we'll be right back. It does support the broadcast, so I do appreciate it if you're willing to wait them out. And then in 3 minutes, we'll be back live here. Xventure, Twitch TV, Forza Spec Racing Series, season number 44, week number 3, coming to an end. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Here is the leaderboard coming into week number 3. So none of the points that were earned here tonight are reflected here, but just to give you, just to flash you back to what it looked like coming into week 3. Now, things will change drastically, not necessarily in the top 3. As a matter of fact, they won't change at all in the top 3, but from 4th on back, most certainly will look different when we are back here on stream for week number 4 racing action. Barney, I suspect, will take over 4th position as Ubernuts has not participated here in week number 1 or in week number 3. And then, as alluded to, Kuda93, who had a fantastic drive here in week number 3, should move up several positions, partially thanks to the missing the AWOL FCA Lemon and Witchy Lady. And then we should also see some movement from those who are currently, or at least on this leaderboard, sitting 11th, 12th. Maybe Patches Riley move up a little bit as well. Modern Weapon, unfortunately, we didn't see out on the track tonight. Nicky Bobby will move up a bit. And then we'll see what the remaining 2 weeks have in store. It could continue to shift the leaderboard. And for those of you who are interested in participating in FM4, I say, hey, jump on in. And then in season 45, see if you can make it here in the top 20. That's the benchmark I propose to any newcomers. See if you can make it into the top 20. And if you can, how much better than that can you do? It's always a neat little thing to kind of hold yourself against as a goal. I think. I don't know. You can come in with absolutely no goals, no expectations. Whatever suits you is perfectly acceptable. All right, let's go take a look at the driver's spotlight, or at least I'll go take a look, and then we'll chat with some folks. Ellis Barney picked the Suzuka full track in the rain, as tradition holds true here. This is Barney's baby, if you will. Barney, nice little eventful finish there at the end. I record you as having finished 4th. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I did finish 4th.
Kuda's contact there at the start-finish line, was that a little playful thing, or is there some animosity there?
That was just a little for fun thing. I think it was very close between us. I think Kuda knew that he wasn't going to get it, so he decided he was going to just have a bit of fun before we crossed the line.
You made your move there with about 2 or 3 laps remaining going into Spoon. Actually, or was it coming out of Hairpin heading towards Spoon? Is that where you saw that you maybe had an advantage over Kuda? Or excuse me, over Kuda.
Yeah, coming out of the Hairpin, I tried to move around the outside and just couldn't get the grip coming out of the corner. Going into Spoon, I saw a small gap through the second apex of the corner. So I made a lunge that got me wheel to wheel with Kuda. Then the race just continued on for the rest of the lap. So I think once I made that dive through Spoon, I think that's where I knew that this is where I can make it.
Talking with Ellis Barney here, the driver's spotlight at the conclusion of week 3 here, season 44. And then lurking kind of in the rearview mirror was Audrex. Did at any point do you think Audrex would make a move, or did you maybe looking at times think, okay, he's kind of where he's going to be, or was there concern that possibly you'd be at risk of falling back a bit?
Yeah, no, I definitely almost lost the that position to Audrex. The lap right before the final lap, the penultimate lap, we were wheel to wheel through part of the track. I think eventually I got back ahead, but yeah, it was very close between me and Audrex still.
You chalk that up as another successful run out here at Suzuka in the rain?
Yeah, I definitely say it could have gone much worse. It almost did go much worse, but yeah, I'd say it was a very successful race for me.
Is there any car that would be selected either in performance index rating or just in the car's innate nature that you would say, step away from that combination of Suzuka and the wet?
No.
Can't get them to budge. You will forever be the rain expert, no matter what the car is, no matter how much performance. That's your go-to.
Absolutely. It's just the best track, so it's the only option.
Again, talking with LS Barney here in the driver's spot. I think you and I had chatted that you are were participating there in the 24 hours of Daytona. Am I correct?
Yes, that's correct.
How did that go for you?
The first two stints went fairly well. I did pretty well. Had pretty good pace, but my stint in stint 8 was not so lucky. About 6 minutes in, I lagged out, so that wasn't as lucky. But
Yeah, lagging that's never fun. SFM Darkster, as we mentioned earlier, had similar situation there. Bringing it back to FM4, Kuda 93 had a phenomenal race. Obviously, you two were duking it out there on the final lap out at Suzuka. The overall standings are going to be very close. A lot of shifting there from fourth on back to 10th. So with 2 weeks remaining, do you think you can hold off Kuda 93? Perhaps Onion with too many eyes? Where do you see yourself finishing, and where do you hope to finish
uh,
after the finale?
I think most realistically, I'll see myself keeping fourth position or gaining fourth position and keeping there for the rest of the season. But I am hoping, I do really want a top 3 in the championship, and that would be good to have. But I don't know how realistic that is with how quick Darkser is.
Yeah, Darkser's been kind of out of reach, just kind of running his own race there with Kratrium and Subaru out in the distance, out of reach for him. But who knows? You never know if there might be a slip up Darkser here through the remaining 3 races that we have on the schedule. Barney, always great chatting with you. Well done there in your own selection here on the schedule, and we'll see you for week number 4.
All right, have a good night.
Thank you. You too. All right, LS Subaru. Hey, Subaru, you had some folks there in the chat who were being bold and saying, "Nah, this is where it's going to end here in season 44. You wouldn't be able to make it 6 in a row." And what do you know? Sure enough, you do.
Yeah, I saw that in the stream after the race had ended. That 51% voted no.
I don't know that they're doing it out of hatred, but more so just trying to maybe see an upset happen there in the channel point wager. So I don't think there's any hatred or haters there, so to speak, in the chat. But pretty interesting. And then of course we'll see if that carries on. How are you feeling? 3 races left to go. No driver has been able to accomplish a full 9 race winning streak, at least in one single season. 3 weeks to go. I mean, it's pretty good odds, at least at this point.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty decent so far. Still got more races to go, so anything can happen really. So I just gotta keep my head down and just focus on doing what I do.
Yeah, 3 races to go. Indeed, Road Atlanta Club Circuit is the first one up in week number 4, and then whereas we had rain here tonight out at Suzuka, we've got the dark out at Le Mans Bugatti Circuit, and then that's all capped off, or at least season 44 is capped off by the Nürburgring Grand Prix. If there was any race where you could say, hey, this one I might legitimately have some concern for, is there any one of those 3 that stand out to you?
To be honest, probably I would say probably Le Mans more. I feel like that track would be more is more against the build of the RX3 more than Road Atlanta and Nürburgring would. So I feel like that track would be the most difficult, and therefore I'll probably be closest to that Kratrium in that race out of the 3.
So with that being said, you think maybe the Le Mans might be out of the builds may not be super compatible with that track. Do you go in and do some testing and try to see what you can make of the car going into that, or are you just gonna go for it next week?
I'm gonna do more tuning I do that for every race, although I usually get the setup, the whole base of the setup finished by round 1, and the rest of the races I just do small tweaks to them. So yeah, I will be tuning the car for Le Mans, but it won't be too big of a setup change from what I've been using throughout this season.
Just curious for those who are interested in knowing like what kind of investment that is to prep. Like how many, just taking one race, not necessarily the entire week that we have. That is week number 4, but let's say Le Mans Bugatti circuit. Like how much do you put into that? How many laps are you churning? Like how much time does that take to really kind of hone in on the setup that you look for?
It's probably like 10 to 15 laps, and then I've pretty much got the setup ready to go. And then after that, it'll just be practice laps until race day.
Very cool. And do you kind of, just out of curiosity, do you share any tips with anybody, or are you a close hold person and say, no, I'm not letting the secret sauce out?
Um, I will share my tune. Like if anyone asks for my tune, I'll just give it to them. But because nobody asks for the tune, nobody gets it.
Uh, what do you think that is? Just if you were to guess why folks aren't saying, "Hey, Subaru, would love to know how you're setting up this car." Do you think they're doing it because they want to try to maybe find something else different about the car that maybe gives them an advantage, or is there maybe just too much pride to go ask the guy who's winning all the races to lend them their to lend their tune?
Uh, I don't think there's anything wrong with asking me for a tune, but yeah, if they want the tune, all they have to do is quite literally just ask, and I'll give them literally the whole entire tune for them to use and tweak to however they want.
Yeah. Very cool. So again, anybody who is interested, maybe you're watching this broadcast live or on demand, if you want to participate in FM4, Subaru has got the invite out there that says, "Hey, if you guys want to borrow my tune, by all means, just reach out and let me know." Subaru, 6 straight wins, going maybe for all 9 here. Any shout outs as we wrap things up tonight?
I'm not sure really. I guess shout out to my team.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
I love being at a LS. But yeah, I'm just happy to be in this whole competitive Forza scene. I've been in here for what, like 3-4 years now.
Yeah.
I took a hiatus in like the back half of 2019 and started again at the end of 2021. So it's been good to be back.
It's astonishing that like you could have that little. I consider like 3-4 years maybe a little bit young in terms of familiarity with the Forza series. Maybe others don't think it that way, but it's quite astonishing able to come in and have such a great grasp of the physics engine, the tuning, and able to churn out the results that you've got here. And then, of course, the obligatory shout out to the LS team. Happy to be a part of that is Subaru. Subaru, well done here tonight. We'll see you again in week number 4, trying to make it happen for another 2 straight victories.
Thank you.
All right. LS Subaru there for you guys in the driver's spotlight. And the organizer here for the Forza Spec Racing Series jumps on in. Soul Motion Fire finishing, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What is it, 9th, 10th?
Keep counting, Dustin. Keep counting. It
11,
wasn't a pretty
12, 13, 14. Oh, we only had 12 drivers. My apologies.
Yeah, it was not a good one for me tonight.
Oh man. Well, hey, you win some, you lose some. That's just the name of the game in racing. What was it? Was it the other drivers or was it just you? What was the biggest factor there?
I just couldn't put it together tonight. It was a whole bunch of mistakes on top of mistakes, on just not comfortable with the car. You name it. You name
Yeah.
it, I was struggling with it.
The whole gamut. Were you cursing Barney's name the entire time here at Suzuka?
No, the rain was just the least of my worries. Like
Yeah.
I said, it wasn't a good night.
You've got you don't have the weather to blame. You don't really have the other drivers. It's just entirely on you. That happens. That's me in a nutshell. That's anytime I get in and I'm on the thumbsticks in Forza Motorsport. That's why I'm really on this side and not on the gameplay side. Talking with Slow Motion Fire here in the driver's spotlight. Some names that we're not seeing out there on the track, but that being said, those folks who maybe find themselves in the top 10, maybe a little bit outside of the top 10 on the overall leaderboard, are going to make some jumps on as we go into week number 4, yourself included. So I don't know what's realistic for you in terms of finishing position. I know we're 2 weeks out, but what do you want to make happen here with 3 races remaining?
I've still got my sights set on Kuda. I'd like to beat him this season, although this week he pulled ahead of me by quite a bit. He had some good races tonight, and I got my work cut out for me next week to keep up with him.
Kuda looking really strong, both out at Mugello and then here at Subaru at Suzuka. So yeah, that's gonna be quite a tall order. But with 3 races. Gosh, I'm getting all kinds of weird terminology thrown in here. But 3 races remaining, a lot of chances for things to happen. We've got Road Atlanta Club, Le Mans Bugatti Circuit in the dark, and then the finale at the not the Nordschleife, but the Nürburgring GP circuit. So some interesting tracks, a little bit more room for these cars to run, because you had a shorter track in Mugello, longer track in Suzuka, but it's pretty lengthy tracks here from here on out.
Well, Road Atlanta, we're racing the club circuit, so that's going to be a short, quick lap around there. And I'm looking forward to Bugatti circuit, just because that's another one of these tracks that we don't visit all that often. So it's always entertaining to go out and race around there when we get the chance.
Yeah, a lot of times when you hear about leagues or even in the multiplayer hopper, like it favors the Mulsanne circuit as opposed to the Bugatti. So we're going on the road course out there as opposed to that long-winded endurance track. How do you assess the dominance here of Subaru? I mean, obviously, 2 championships in the seasons prior to season 44 here, so going for his 3rd, but would be the first racer to win all 9 if he can do it here in the last 3. At what point do you just kick them out and say, hey, you've done all you can do here, go find somebody else to race with?
Oh, that's not the spirit of the league. No, he puts in the time and puts in the practice, and it shows. Caterham's brought the fight to him a couple times this season, and
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, we can't complain too much when the rest of us don't put in any practice. You can't really expect to come out and beat him, so it's always fun to see the lap times he puts down and see what the car is actually capable of.
That's what I really like about FM4 is you hear Subaru talking about the prep work. He's talking 10, 15 laps per track in terms of preparation, and then folks are on that hashtag team no practice, and that's cool. You can have that flexibility here in FM4. You can really just approach it one week at a time with really no preparation, or you can actually put some effort into it and see what the results are. That's really cool, and nobody will frown at you for either path that you choose. Slow Motion Fire, how about any shout-outs here today? Wonderful job here with Season 44. Looking forward to the finale, and curious to see if you've got any words for anybody else.
Well, we got a shout-out. Modern Weapon has put together track voting this season to figure out what the league's favorite track is. So that's running right now. So if you haven't voted in that, I'd encourage everybody to go find the link for that in the Discord and vote. And then just shout out to all the drivers who show up week after week and make this league what it is. I mean, it'd be nothing without any of them. So I appreciate all of them for showing up and racing.
Very true. And I mentioned as we were gearing toward the end of Suzuka that it's 2 weeks now that from what I can recall, no disconnects. Everybody's staying out there on the track, which we love to see. Everybody just kind of sweating it out to the very end, not giving up there. So a lot to be said there, and of course, plenty of room on the grid for people to jump in, even if they want to race here in week 4 or 5.
Yeah. Drivers of all skill level are welcome, just so long as you race cleanly and plenty of spots open. So jump in and come race with us.
And that poll that you said that Modern Weapon put together in terms of best tracks in FM7, or maybe not even just FM7, but all together, I think you've got a link to that on the Reddit sub, or the subreddit. Yeah.
It's on the Discord currently.
Well, I mean the link to the Discord to get to the voting available via the subreddit. Okay. So
yes,
I put it there in the chat. Nightbot has the link for you, reddit.com/r/FM4. Go there. Not only the details about season 44 here, but then also a way for you to jump over to the Discord and be a part of the cool community fun that they've got going on, the banter, the chatting, the voting, and then, of course, like Subaru said, the invitation is open, and that's where you would say, hey, Subaru, reaching out, trying to get a tune from you, and hook me up and see if what I can do with how you got your vehicle set up. So Motion Fire, we'll see you there in week number 4, and maybe you'll be able to turn around the performance there.
I'm hoping so. We'll catch you next week, Dustin.
All right, thanks a lot. All right, folks, there you go. Week number 4, or not number 4. Week number 3 is a wrap. We done did it. And I've lost my pen cap again. I need a new pen. This one's not going to do it anymore. Toss it. Get rid of it. Ugh. Dunsky. Like I said, I'll be live again on Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. 7 p.m. Eastern, so 6 Central, 5 Mountain, 4 Pacific. I'll be playing American Truck Simulator. And then again on Sunday morning, again, I've twisted up the content because, like I said, the Horizon Zero Dawn was fun, but I just didn't think it was jiving with the channel. And so on Sunday, we're going to be doing some Snow Runner Sunday for 4 hours starting at 9 a.m. Eastern. That's a lot of fun. That game is like, you could get some gray hairs going in that, or get some really cool missions complete, depending on how focused I am. Who knows? If I'm drinking too much of the coffee, my mind might be all scatterbrained and I'll be flipping trucks over left and right. I hope not. Like I said, I've got a pretty good fleet now there in SnowRunner, and so maybe I can turn that into like some really steady progression in that game, because it's a bit of a slog, but with the right vehicles, it gets better. It gets better. So hope to see you for any one of those broadcasts. If not, join us back here tonight, or not tonight, but a week from tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, week number 4, Road Atlanta Club Circuit, not Circuit de la Sarthe, but the Bugatti Circuit there at Le Mans. It's going to be a lot of fun, and if you want to race, again, the link there in the chat, Nightbot has got it for you, reddit.com/r/FM4. I definitely encourage you to check it out. Even if you don't want to participate in season 44 and you say, hey, I'd rather not be in the mix of everybody who's trying to wrap up their season, then at least get over there, see the rules, restrictions, and how things are conducted, and then hopefully maybe we'll see you in season 45. All right, folks, have a wonderful rest of the night, a wonderful Tuesday, and have a fantastic Wednesday, Thursday, maybe see you Friday, lovely weekend, so on and so forth. We'll catch you hopefully sooner rather than later back here on the channel. Stay happy, stay healthy. If you get any racing action in, keep it fun, keep it safe, keep it clean. Adios. Farewell. Peace.